One of the questions that I get a lot, almost every day in some form or fashion, is, Steve, how do I go faster? How do I make it happen faster? I don't have all the time in the world. I want to do better. I want to do more. I want to be more successful. How do I do it quickly? Well, we're going to talk about that in today's episode of the Steve Freeman Podcast.
You're listening to the Steve Freeman Podcast, the real, raw truth about the pursuit of success in music, business, and life. Here's your host, hit songwriter, multi-platinum selling producer, and serial entrepreneur, Steve Freeman.
Quality. I have followed a variety of music development and marketing people, and not only does Steve Freeman have the best and most honest advice, but it's also the most affordable. Thank you. Johnny Opus via Apple Podcast and rated us 5 stars. Johnny, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you would like to have your review featured here on the podcast, just leave one. That's all you got to do. Go over to Apple Podcast or iTunes, rate us 5 stars, and leave your review, and I will feature them just like the one from Johnny. Thank you very much, Johnny. I appreciate that. We try to make the podcast as affordable as possible. I get about 10, 12 emails a week or direct messages on Instagram. People fucking pissed off because there's ads at the beginning of the podcast. That's the way that I can make this thing free, guys. There's a lot of people out there that are doing this whole paywall thing with whether it's Patreon or whatever and charging people $5, $10 a month to be able to listen to the content or watch the content. We have the ads so that all this can be free. So if you can afford to sit through 3 or 4 minutes of ads, fucking Joe Rogan's, the first 12 minutes of his podcast is nothing but ads. But I imagine people complain about that too. So anyway, I try to make it as affordable as humanly possible. So thank you for the review. I would love everybody to go over there and rate us 5 stars and leave us a review. Links to social media, everything you need to find. Want to join the private Facebook group, you can do that. Links to that plus all of my other social media you can find in the show notes. You can go to thestevefreeman.com. You can find the show notes there, or no matter where you're listening to the podcast, in the description area, that's kind of what they call the show notes area. So all the links and everything, they will live there as well. Those of you that are, I always forget about those of you watching on YouTube. Those of you watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification icon thing on. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you like the Facebook page and then go join the private Steve Freeman Podcast Facebook group. We'd love to have you as a member of the little group. Today, I want to talk about one of the questions that I get asked a lot, and that is how to make things happen faster. We all want things to happen faster. I own sports cars because I like to go fast. We all buy airline tickets and jump on an airplane because we don't want to drive all the way across the country. We don't want to drive where it is we're going. Why? Because it takes too much time. And we can think of 1,000 other things that we would rather use that time for. So we hop on an airplane or we buy a fast car. We want things to happen faster. One of the things I've learned in my career, in my life, though, is the faster something goes, the harder it crashes. And the more devastation there is. What's the old saying? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's the truth. And it's always amazed me that people that want in the music business or people that want in the entertainment business have some sort of expectation that things are supposed to happen more quickly than they actually do. And I don't know why this is. I don't know why, if it's like TV shows like Nashville or some of the other horrible representations of our business that have existed on television or through films, because this business isn't that way. It doesn't happen that way. I was honored to write some songs for the show Nashville, but I can be honest and tell you that it doesn't work that way. You don't come to town on Monday, get a publishing deal on Tuesday, get your first cut on Wednesday, it goes to number 1 on Thursday, and then you sign your record deal on Friday and you're playing a stadium on Saturday. That's the way it was on the show. It doesn't happen that way in real life. Even the stories that you guys see, even some of the people that are coming out now that are realizing and having a lot of success right now, they've been at it for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. We need to get that mentality out of our head that just because we found out about it today doesn't mean that it started yesterday. These artists, these songwriters have put in years and years and years of help, of work. They've done everything right. They've persevered. What have I always told you guys? The three main keys and ingredients to success are consistency, persistence, and a willingness to sacrifice. The people that you're seeing that are successful right now are the people that have put in those three things. Now, as social media has grown, as social media becomes more popular, and there are more outlets, there's TikTok, there's Snapchat, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's now Triller. I was seeing one the other day that's going to be evidently a TikTok competitor. Instagram is now doing Reels. So there's becoming more outlets. Yes, there is still things that go viral. But name me the last viral sensation that lasted any amount of time. That's the problem with viral. Things go viral and then nothing happens after it. Because you cannot plan to follow up on viral because you can't plan for viral. And I'm always blown away at the times and the number of people that I will speak with, that I'll talk to, that honestly believe and are using that as a plan to success. They actually think they're going to go viral on TikTok. It's amazing to me that you think that is a possibility. Is it a possibility? Sure. Is it something you should plan on? Should you set up your entire thing around going viral on TikTok? No, because the likelihood that it's going to happen is zero. If it does happen, it's a miracle. And we don't all get up and expect a miracle to happen every single day. So when I get the question, Steve, how do I speed up? How do I make this thing happen faster? The only answer that I have ever found to really address this question is it is almost impossible to speed up success because it still requires consistency, persistence, and a willingness to sacrifice. But if you want to stack the odds in your favor and you really want to achieve your goals and achieve your dreams in as little time as humanly possible, which I kind of, if I'm being honest, I hate that I'm even talking about this because I don't like going into things with the mindset of trying to get it done with as little time as possible. I've just always been a proponent of hard work and putting in the time that it takes to make it right, to make it successful, not how quickly can I get it done. Yes, we all want things to happen in a timely fashion. We mainly because we like seeing the fruit of our labor. We like knowing that if we put all of this work into it, that there is actually a benefit on the other side. And I get it. I'm just like you. I love the payoff as much as everybody else. So if there is an answer to the question, it would be this: do more. If you are writing 1 song a week, write 3 songs a week. If you're writing 5 songs a week, write 10 songs a week. If you are making videos for YouTube, if you're making 1 video a week, make 2. Make 3, make 4, make 5. Do a daily vlog. The more content that you put out, the better chance you have of being discovered. I hate that fucking term. I really do. The better shot you have. Well, let me put it this way. The more content you create is like creating a catalog. In songwriting terms, that's what we as songwriters do. We build catalog. We don't write a song expecting that song's going to get cut. Would we love for that song to get cut? We absolutely would. But that's not why we're writing it. We're writing it and building catalog. The overall catalog has value. The more there is of something, like when we pitch somebody a song, maybe they don't like that song, but they like something about the song. Maybe they like the writing. Maybe they like the production. Maybe there's this little something different and they go, hey, this isn't the one for us because we might have already cut something that sounds like this, but there's something here that we really like. Can we hear what else have you got? That's when you send the link to another 30, 40, 50 songs in your catalog and let them listen to your catalog. If you don't have that body of work, then you've just missed that opportunity. And there's a lot of you that are trying to hit a home run every time you step up to the bat. This business, success in this business and in any other business, is predicated on your ability to hit base hits, not home runs, not grand slams. Can you get on base? Can you hit it again and advance that runner to second, and then you're on first, and then you get on third? It is done one at-bat, one hit at a time. If you are relying and have as a part of your strategy and your plan that this one song is going to hit a home run, more than likely you're going to strike out. Or you're going to hit a pop foul, and it's going to be caught, and you're going to be out. And then you're back at square one because you don't have a catalog. You don't have a library. You don't have a bulk sense of content for people to fall back on. I tell a lot of people when I work with them about YouTube that the reason you want to have 50 videos, 60 videos, 100 videos is because when you are lucky enough that whatever it is you're doing works, right? The ultimate payoff is if you make this video or a song, we can put it in either thing. Let's say you've made a video, one person's made a video, the other person's made a song, written a song, produced a song, and has put it out in the marketplace. The reason you want to have multiple songs and the reason you want to have multiple videos is that if you're ever lucky enough to screw up and have the one thing happen that you want, and that is somebody does click on that link, somebody does go watch it, somebody does go listen to it, that when that 3 minutes is over, in the case of a song, or 10, 12, 20 minutes YouTube video, when the video's over, what else is there? If you don't have any other content there to captivate their attention and keep their attention and keep it focused on you and your content, if all you have there is your 3.5-minute song or your 12-minute video and that's it, then you've lost that person. People's attention spans are like goldfish. Once you have it, that is the most treasured, valuable asset as a business owner, as a songwriter, as an artist, as a content creator. The most valuable thing you can get is somebody's attention. But when you focus on this one song or you focus on this one video, what happens when that 3.5 minutes or 12-minute video is over? Where are they going? What are they doing? They are going to somebody else. So as you plan for speeding up your career, do more. Instead of thinking, I'm going to make this one video and it's going to be awesome, and I think it's got a chance to go viral. Instead of thinking like that, think I'm going to make 10 videos. Instead of thinking I'm going to record this one song and I'm going to put it out. I'm dealing with that with somebody right now. It's one song. It's going to change everything. No, it's not. The likelihood of that you have a better shot of getting struck by lightning when there's no clouds in the sky. Has it happened before? Yes, but I've never understood everybody that gives me back and pushes back with me on this, with that argument that, well, it happened to this person or it happened to that person. What makes you think that it's going to happen to you? Because that person didn't plan for it. Because that's what I was saying, what happens before. A lot of times when you see these things and they go viral, you don't ever hear from these people ever again. They have nothing to follow it up with. And the major reason is, it might have gone viral. It might have got thrown around and passed around and shared and all that. But once it's over, it's over. There's nothing there. People are not going to wait 6 more weeks or 8 more weeks or 12 more weeks until you release that next platinum sounding single you've got coming, or that next video next month you're going to post. And sometimes even the case of YouTube, next week. To use Gary Vee's saying of day trading attention, that's the business that you're in. You're in the business of day trading attention. And if you have nothing of value to trade for that attention, you're not going to hold it for very long. It's going to come in the door and it's going to go back out the door. And then it's going to go to somebody else. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to go to somebody who has more than you do, who has a catalog, who has a track record, who has 15 videos on YouTube, or who has 13, 14, 15 songs on Spotify. So if you want to speed up your career, do more. That's the answer. There's not a person that you can pay There's not a service that you can buy that is going to make things happen faster. The people that are giving you the correct advice and the right guidance and the right information, what they're essentially doing is giving you the tools. The same thing we do through the Artist Development Academy. If you join the Artist Development Academy, it's not gonna make things happen faster for you. What it's going to do is give you the tools to build more, not to build one thing and then set it off. It's almost like when we were a kid. My cousin and I, we were big into rockets. And I remember going to, I think it was Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I don't remember which one of those stores it was, but they used to sell those rocket kits, and they might even still sell them. I don't know. But we used to go buy those rockets, and there was all this hype because we would put the stickers on the rockets and we would prepare the rocket. And, they had the different little things that you could use that some would make it go further and some would make it go faster. The little, with the little combustion things. And there was a lot of work and a lot of prep that went into preparing this rocket. And then we would take them out on a Saturday and we'd go out in the middle of the field and we'd set everything up and then boom, we'd fire the rocket off. Now, everything leading up to firing that rocket off was exciting. It was amazing. The 10-second countdown we'd give ourselves before we'd push the button and let it fly. Very exciting. Once the fucker left the ground, not very exciting. The only thing more exciting would have been if we had 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 more rockets to fire off, right? After that, it's kind of anticlimactic. Look at your career the same way you would approach that rocket. Don't spend a month, 3 months, a week, whatever. Don't spend it all preparing one rocket, because once it's fired, it's gone. You can't fire it again. Multiple rockets. If you really want to speed up, you really want to go faster, do more. Because I'll also tell you what happens when you do more, you get better. I was telling somebody the other day, I'm working on a film right now with Trent Garrett and Jacob Young. The three of us have formed a production company. We're going to be doing several movies together. And we're working on this one film right now. And we were talking about not putting all of our eggs in one basket and being prepared to do multiple different things. And not being that one rocket that's like, all right, this is going to be it. If it flies, it flies. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you learn with every step that you take. The more you do, the more you're going to learn. And we've had some issues with some people that are involved in the film. And those issues come because these people that want to do certain things don't have the experience. When I tell you to do more, it's not just to do more. It's every time you turn on that camera, every time you get behind the microphone, every time you pick up your guitar or sit down at your piano, you're going to be better. Your songs are going to be better. Your cinematography is going to be better. Your knowledge of any subject is going to be better. Your presence in front of the camera is going to be better. Your delivery is going to be better. Case in point, let's take this podcast, for example. When I first started the podcast 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, I used to really structure the podcast. You can go back and listen to them too. And you can see where I would write everything out and I almost needed it to be scripted. I don't write scripts for the podcast anymore. I know what it is that I'm going to be talking about. And I might have 4 bullet points over here. But if I read those bullet points, the podcast would be 30 seconds long. And it's not. How long have we been going now? It's 24 minutes. And I've got 4 bullet points over here written down on a Google document. And those are the most important things. Why? Because I've been doing it now for 2 years and I don't need that structure. I can turn on this camera. I can walk in this room having no idea what I'm going to talk about. I can turn on all of this equipment, turn that camera on, sit down, and start talking without having any notes whatsoever. That only comes when you've done it with repetition. You've been consistent and persistent, and you've been willing to sacrifice. You've put in the time. You've learned. You've acquired the knowledge. So do more. That is the answer. I just had somebody the other day ask me about YouTube. I'm not getting the engagement that I want. How do I do this? How do I get more engagement? Make more content. It's the answer. You know, I would love to say, well, go pay this person and they'll boost it. Or go do this or go do that. You get off into that and that creates a false sense of acceleration. And then I get the money question. Well, who can I pay? What can I spend? I'm going to tell you guys something. I've said this before, but it's been a while, so I'll say it again. Money in the entertainment business does not start a fire. It is only an accelerant. Once you've built the fire, then yes, money will keep that fire burning longer. And in some cases, it can be an accelerant to build the fire and make the fire even bigger. Money does not start the fire. So don't think that money is always equated with making things go faster. And a lot of times, money is a negative thing. Wow, listen to that. Money is a negative thing because you will spend money to skip steps. You look at it and go, wow, A, B, and C, I really enjoy. I like doing A, B, and C. I feel fulfilled when I do it. I feel like I do it great. And I think it's worth my time and I enjoy it. Love A, B, and C. But D, E, and F, probably G, I don't like doing very much. So instead of doing it myself or acquiring the knowledge to do it well, I will spend money and get somebody else to do D, E, F, and G. That doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do you any service whatsoever. Because basically what you're doing is buying your way to skip steps. And I don't know any, and I know some pretty fucking successful people. I don't know any of them that got to the success they have by paying to skip steps. They learned to love D, E, F, and G as much as they loved A, B, and C. The only way to get to that point is to do those. And do them as often as you do the things that you love. When you should really focus on using money as an accelerant to your fire is when not being able to spend that money to not skip steps, but help you with those steps starts to influence and affect your ability to do A, B, and C. That's when you know you're ready to invest money into your career. And then you go out and you do hire people. I need to hire somebody right now, not because I don't want to do these things, but if I hired somebody and they came on board, I could let them do these things because I can do more of this. My time is very limited. The only way to open up my time and focus on the things that are most important is to use money as an accelerant to take up some of the slack, to make me more effective, to make more of my time. So don't get wrapped up in this thing about thinking, who can I pay to make my career go faster? Who can I pay to get me that publishing deal sooner? Who can I pay to get me that record deal sooner? Stop worrying about going fast and start worrying about going consistent. Whenever I'm working with an artist or developing an artist one-on-one, I always tell them up front that this is going to take time. This is not going to happen in the next month. It's not going to happen in the next 3 months. It's not going to happen in the next 6 months. More than likely, it's not even going to happen by the end of the year. This is a 2 to 3 year process of developing you as an artist because the way that I do it is I build solid ground under every step so that no matter where we are in the process, if something doesn't go our way, if the plan isn't working, if it's not executing exactly the way that we thought this particular point was going to execute, all we're doing is stepping one step back. We're not all the way back to the beginning. Those of you that are trying to make this thing happen faster, you're creating less content, putting more emphasis on one thing. And if that thing doesn't work, and if the plan behind executing that one thing doesn't work, you're back to square one. And then you're going to repeat that mistake. You're going to create that next one song, that next one video, Build solid ground underneath yourself. The solid ground underneath you is more valuable than getting to the top quicker. It is more valuable than building your house on sand. I used that yesterday to somebody. I said, yeah, you got your house built before me, but yours is built on the sand. Mine is built on rock. Mine will be here in 100 years. Yours probably won't be here next week. So stop thinking about speed. Stop thinking about getting to the finish line first. This business is a marathon. Life is a marathon. It is not a sprint. This is not about he who gets there first wins. Sometimes you look at those racers and the people that win, they cross the finish line and they about die. And they pass out. They have to be loaded into hospital ambulances and taken to the hospital. Meanwhile, the guy that ran the marathon at a nice, steady pace, he gets to the end. Everybody's there. Love, hugs, kisses, the whole thing. He gets in his car and he goes home. There's value in taking your time. There's a lot to learn with not trying to make things happen so quickly. But if asked, how do I make things happen faster? How do I speed up my music career? Do more. Create a catalog. Create a history. Create a track record. Create more content. That's the way you speed things up. You're doing 1, do 2. You're doing 2, do 4. You're doing 4, do 8. And if you really want to speed things up and show you're serious, triple the amount of work that you're doing right now. Because every little piece that you're putting out there gets you one step closer to where you want to where you really ultimately want to be. So that's my answer. Do more. Don't forget, guys, the links to everything in the show notes. You can go to thestevefreeman.com. If you'd like to leave me a voicemail and ask a question, have it featured here on the podcast, go to thestevefreeman.com. And right on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a little button that says leave me a voicemail. And it's really cool because when you actually click that button, that's exactly what you get to do. You get to leave me a voicemail. I'll feature the voicemail here on the podcast, and I'll answer your question or address your comment. You can do that. Join our private Facebook group. You can do that at facebook.com/The Steve Freeman. You can find all these links in the show notes. Don't forget, follow me on Instagram at The Steve Freeman. Let's see, what else? Got some great episodes coming up. Thank you, guys. I have to say, we're in September now. August was the biggest month for the podcast ever. And that's 100% thanks to you guys. So I really, really appreciate it. If you want to join my inner circle, you can do that at the links in the show notes, but you can do that at my side as well. And I love all you guys. I appreciate you being here. As we wrap up, we will end the way we always do. Say it with me. Keep being creative. Keep pressing the boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with being independent. See you in the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for the Steve Freeman Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow Steve on social media at The Steve Freeman.